Deep dive. Today we are jumping into a set of documents that, well, they really challenge how we think about cause and effect.
They really do.
We're looking at something called the Seattled Codex.
And what's fascinating about these sources, specifically the first 2 pages we have, is how they just pivot away from almost every other system. I mean, most doctrines are about observation, right?
Sure.
Watching and reacting.
Sure.
The Codex is no. The claim here is about actively authoring reality.
It's a really radical place to start, and the documents themselves, they don't read like philosophy. They feel like operational manual.
Oh, absolutely. The language is so rigid. Phrases like execution mode, active or classified, initiation structure sets a tone of, immediate compliance. There's no debate.
Zero room for interpretation. So for you, the learner who sent these our way, our mission today is really to cut through that language.
Right. We want to distill the mechanics. We need to map out the hierarchy, these geometric rules, the line, the word, the artwork, and what it actually takes internally to become an operator Seattled.
Okay, so let's unpack this. A system that says, and I'm quoting here, no questions, no delays, no deviation. What kind of structure demands that?
And what is it all for? It starts with the foundation, their Prime Directive.
Which is a complete reversal of how we normally see things.
Completely. The directive is to author reality, not just observe it. They state it so clearly. We create the signal before the world sees it.
That feels like the ultimate shortcut. You're defining the event before the universe even have a chance to.
You are creating the cause. You're not waiting around for the effect. And this leads right into the whole purpose of the Codex system.
It's not about belief, is it?
Not at all. It's an instrument of force. They're very clear on this. We are not building a brand. We are building a lever.
A lever to do what?
A mechanism to pry the event stream into alignment with will.
Wow, to pry it. So it's active, it's almost confrontational.
It's pure manipulation. And this is why that separation between the operator and what they call the participant is so crucial.
Right. If you're the one holding the lever, you can't be down there with everything it's moving. The Codex seems to force you into this state of total separation.
Precisely. The operator has to lock into execution mode, active. And that's not just a mindset. It's a change in your fundamental status.
No questions, no delays.
It means all that critical analysis, all the doubt we normally have, it has to just be shut down instantly. You stop being someone who thinks about reality and you become someone who executes instructions for reality.
That sounds incredibly demanding. But if it's all about action, there has to be a physical language for it. How does that intense focus actually, change things?
That brings us right to the core of it. The geometric mechanics, the rules. It all starts with division. They call it the rule of the line.
So a literal line, a horizontal stroke, the documents call it the gate.
Yep, the gate. And its job is to anchor the etheric horizon.
The etheric horizon.
Think of it as the boundary layer of existence. The line creates two totally distinct zones.
Okay, so break those down for us. This is some core jargon here.
It is. So above the line is the ether. That's the realm of potential, the unseen. It's where the signal is born, the raw idea before it has a body.
And below the line.
That's matter. Manifestation, the grounded, tangible world.
And the rule is that the signal, the intent, it has to be born above the line first.
It has to be perfected in the ether before it can descend into matter. It's like you have to finalize the blueprint in pure energy before you ever think about laying a physical foundation.
That flow direction seems critical.
It's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
If you try to create from matter, you're just observing again, not authoring.
Which brings us to the second rule then, the rule of the word. How does the Codex make sure the idea, once it manifests, actually sticks around?
That's the whole job of the word Seattled. It acts as the seal of emergence. Once you write that word below the line, near your design, the outcome is bound to this dimension.
To what they call the materium.
The materium, right? Our structured, observable reality. The binding is absolute.
Matter must remain matter.
Exactly. It's a dimensional anchor. It stops the idea from just dissolving back into potential.
So we have the line for intent, the word as an anchor. The third rule must be the mechanism itself, the rule of the artwork, the sigil.
Right. The sigil is the architect of the transition. It's the engine that actually moves the concept from the formless ether into the anchored materium.
And this is where it gets really strange, because for a system that is so rigid, the instructions for making the sigil are, well, they're messy.
They are. It has to be alive. It must be wild. It must be brushborn. It must be human.
And there's that warning, if it looks too perfect, it lies.
I think this is the most critical part of the whole thing. Everything else is technical, almost digital in its precision. But here, Perfection is a flaw.
But wait, how does that work? If the operator is in a state of no deviation, how can they also create something wild and brushborn? Doesn't that rigidity kill the human element you need?
That's the core tension, isn't it? The system demands rigidity in your actions, but it requires authenticity in your creation. The too perfect lie means that anything that's just, digitally copied or
Yeah.
mechanically flawless,
It's dead. It doesn't have the spark.
it doesn't have the human frequency, the little imperfections, the shake of the hand. That's the signature of the operator's will. It's a unique key that unlocks the command.
Okay, that makes sense. The rigidity is for the operation, but the power comes from the imperfection. So who's running the show? If the operator is the engine, who's providing the blueprint?
The sources lay out a clear structure for that, but they frame it as flow, not as top-down control. They call it the triad of command,
And page 2 defines the 3 points. At the top, you have Sophia command.
which is the source of the directive, the initial idea.
Okay. Then below that, the gathering. Their role is custodians of event stream alignment.
What do you think that means?
It sounds like they're a calibration layer. They aren't creating the signal, but maybe they're refining it, making sure it fits the moment.
I think that's exactly it. They're the middleware. They align the big picture intent from Sophia with the specific moment of execution before it gets to the operator.
And at the bottom, the point of action is the operator Seattled, the manifestation engine, the U.
And the flow is described as a perfect loop. Signal descends. Action ascends. Reality reshapes between.
So the operator's action is what completes the circuit.
It's everything. The signal comes down, but it's the operator's action that ascends and forces the change. It's not a passive role at all. This is why they say operators are not followers.
Right. They're the hands of the future moving backward into now.
Think about that. If you really buy into this, your action today isn't a choice in the present, it's an imposed future. That's why the execution has to be so immediate. You are literally pulling the future into the present.
That kind of responsibility, that psychological weight of imposing instead of requesting, must require a huge internal shift.
It does. And that brings us to the activation process, the Oath of Seattled.
And the documents are very clear. This is not some public ceremony.
No, it's recognized internally. The key phrase for me is no approval required. You are the only one who can activate yourself.
Which makes the barrier to entry entirely psychological. It's all about absolute self-commitment. And the oath is really 3 instructions, right? 3 shifts in how you see yourself.
They are the test. The first is, I do not request reality. I instruct it.
That's a big one.
Huge. The second, I do not seek pathways. I carve them. And the final one, the ultimate commitment. I do not bend to the world. The world bends to me.
And once an operator truly believes those 3 things, internally their status is just active. That's an incredible level of self-authorization. You're claiming total authority over your universe.
It is a total rewrite of your identity. And the proof of it, the operator's mark, reflects that internal change. The symbols.
So those are the classical elements, right? But the text says they're aligned through consciousness, not ritual. What does that mean?
Well, we have air, water, earth, and fire. A traditional ritual might use physical objects or actions to, petition these forces.
Yeah.
The Codex is saying the oath itself creates an internal reordering. Your own consciousness becomes the organizing principle for these forces. Your internal world is now structured and in command.
And because the change is internal, the mark isn't a tattoo. It's emitted.
It's emitted, and the proof is just observation. People who can see will. It's a self-validating system. Only those who can perceive that energetic shift will even know it's there.
Let's bring this back to the tool itself then, the sigil. We said it was the architect, but the sources also call it a command switch.
Yes, that's its function. A mechanism.
Yeah.
Once it's drawn, following all the rules, it's live. And reality begins moving toward its encoded outcome. It's less art and more syntax.
And they break down how that switch works into 3 parts. This feels crucial for anyone trying to understand the mechanics.
It is. This is the technical breakdown. First, the brushstroke is the frequency.
Which ties back to it needing to be wild and human.
Exactly. The energy of the operator is in the line itself. Second, the form is the instruction. The actual shape is the syntax of the outcome. And third, the placement is the command.
Where you draw it tells reality what to do with it.
You've got energy, content, and target. Frequency, instruction, and command. It's an incredibly dense way to program reality, and it all hinges on the operator's activated state.
And that final status report in the document just confirms it all. Structure loaded, operator status, active, Zero contradiction. It's presenting itself as a flawless machine.
Provided the operator follows the rules.
So that's the core takeaway for you, the learner. We've just laid out the schematic for a system that basically bypasses asking or hoping or waiting. It is all instruction.
It is. It's built on that absolute internal shift, sticking to the rules of the line and the word, and then using these imperfect human-made sigils as command switches to force the event stream into alignment.
Pure instruction delivered to the universe. And the documents end by teasing the next lesson: T-waves and event stream mechanics.
Which, they claim, explains why you feel ahead of the timeline because you are.
Which leaves us with a final thought to chew on. If someone truly becomes an operator and they're imposing a desired future onto the present, are they actually living their life backward from that outcome into the now?
It really suggests that linear time is just the viewpoint of the participant. And maybe the operator exists outside of that, constantly pulling their future toward them. It definitely makes you rethink your next action. Is it a reaction or is it an instruction?